wonderful people. Today we address a very, very important item that is going on in society, and that is termed the compulsion to addictions, to habits that have killed many, many relationships, that have killed your consciousness due to your disconnection to your authenticity, disconnection to your origin, disconnection from having actually a community to which you can turn to, disconnected from so many important things that you are yearning for, you are crying for, because being addicted to anything on this earth plane requires some understanding. Addiction primarily comes from living in a synthetic world. We were all downloaded in a synthetic world, and it's only coming to the surface in the past few years. And thus we started to realize that our foods are being injected with synthetics only for the only reason of profit making, because synthetics in food would make you addicted to food, will cut out the minerals and vitamins, meaning you would need more and more foods to, to feel your body in a state where it is fulfilled, where it progresses, where it feels nourished. And so the other side of old habits, if we look at the world, we have social media, we have loads of addictions, scrolling, creating stress, creating more addictions, creating malfunctioning in the brain when the senses become off, getting influenced by mass information. False or right doesn't even matter anymore, because the overload to the brain makes that you cut off your own capacity to think for yourself and not be afraid to think for yourself. Over consumerism, with people addicted to gaming, addicted to alcohol, addicted to cigarettes, addicted to many bad habits like overeating and not being able to stop it. So it's a serious thing we need to pay attention to, because there are many ways out of it. And when we look at all these habits, it becomes a huge structure actually of addictions. Like, I've seen many relationships gone astray through addictions, to alcohol abuse, to gaming, to not being able to pay attention to their relationship. And that is very, very important to understand, because I've been working in the field of psychology, neurology for 22 years. I've gotten many, many people out of it if they were willing to go out of it, because there's always free will, like that says, or that talks in the back of your brain, the smaller brain that says, I cannot do it, I want to do it, I'm tired of it. And yet you have that compulsion, always going back to that same old thing that it kills you from the inside out. And most of this is due to compulsion, shame, fear, and the whole list, because everything on this planet was intentionally created by fear. And so when fear is injected in almost everything, then you get that compulsion, like, yeah, I mean, that is too much for me. I would like to keep to my habits so I don't have to think what is really going on in my life, in this entire huge planet actually. And but the good news is actually that people are aware these days that they have a bad habit, that you have a bad addiction, and it is oftentimes so painful when we don't have anybody to talk about, because this is the age of communication that we are entering. So we are moving from the ugly earth plane into a wonderful world, meaning the repair is there. We can tap into it, and there's so many easy modems to get into it. From my experience, I feel people really want to get out of it now, because people are becoming more and more conscious every day, awakening more every day, and so that is very important to acknowledge. When you can acknowledge just the only factor that could stand in the way before we open up solutions, that is laziness, fear, and especially having no support to go through all the way. So the laziness is something also deeply embedded in consciousness that is not, that was actually not there before being birthed on the planet, as you're all very lovable beings that deserve a lot better. So the first step to really get out of it is, as always, start talking to yourself, start loving yourself a lot more. Whenever that addiction pops up and you give into it, then start talking to yourself. Start saying, okay, it's there, but me, and then you call your name, me, Jane, I love you so much. It's no problem. We are going to deal with it today. I love you, I love you, I love you. And you call out your name till it gets you to tears. That is one thing, because if you give yourself that love and you repeat it so many times, then it should get you into tears, because it will fire in the brain a new concept, a new consciousness. And when you repeat that so many times during the day, I love you, and we make a new structure right now, because I and yourself, you and I, you speak to your spout, can do that. And that's the first step. Second step is be willing to do it, to go from line A to line B. If we know that our foods are so injected with synthetics, that makes us crave more and more bad things. There's no such a bad thing as wanting to have an ice cream or a pizza once in a while. But if you need that every day, several times a day, then it's a bad habit, right? Life is there to enjoy, but not to overdo, because overdoing things, creating those habits, creates malfunctioning. So the nervous system starts to fire up in one direction. So telling yourself, I need this all of the time, I need this, I need this, I don't even know why. So, and here today we have massive techniques to discover why we are addicted to whatever it is. Let me know what it is that you're addicted to. I'm very open to know here, because I've seen through experience and investigation that there's not one single person on the planet that doesn't have one addiction, one habit that he or she knows needs to go somehow. It needs to go. And that is when we can start communicating with ourselves and allowing ourselves some silent time. And that practice can be done in meditation. So I'm not a huge fan of all those empty meditations or TM meditations or anything, because it costs too much to get anywhere. And today I have discovered techniques that go very, very fast, fast, fast through alignment. So if you have anything to align with, like a simple code that I provide, if you want a code that is made out of a design, a color, a number, a geometric pattern, whatever, here are a few examples, and you breathe that code in and you visualize that very strong. And for example, what most amongst you will need is the code for strength, right? You need some strength to decide to bridge from point A to point B. Bridge from the malfunctioning, the compulsion, the fear, the shame, everything it is actually attached to, and everything it starts to create in addition. And that is very important to recognize. So if we, for example, breathe through in a meditational setup that is very, very easy. I've helped thousands of people out of it, and like cutting out connections is very important. Old connections, old friendships that are attached to that habit, to that particular addiction. That helps a lot, and that can be coded through the vagus nerve. So breathing in a code, holding the breath, commanding it to delete through the spine your addiction to, for example, overeating. That is one thing, but you can attach a code to everything. And every code has a specialty, if you will. And so that is very, very beneficial. The second thing is, if you are overstressed all of the time, because that is what bad habits do, they overstress you, so you cannot find yourself in a peaceful space actually, then I would suggest start out some foundational settings for a habit in meditation in the morning, at lunchtime, and in the evening. Start very small, start with 15 minutes each time. And that will assist you massively, because through meditation we can invite color codes. We can invite peace, we can invite de-stress, we can invite to override the old psychology with new psychologies. And these days that is termed alchemy. Alchemy is a chemistry to transform from one form of consciousness into a new. And that is quite fun to do, and it can be massively assisted as well as we are returning into the origin. It's important that I talk about the origin of the earth that turned into the matrix due to, very, very monstrous sources and forces, and created the Dark Ages. So we are definitely moving out of it, and the origin was crystalline consciousness. We see crystals in our iPhones, we see crystals in our computers, we have crystals in our brain. crystals, they talk wild. You see me wearing crystals all of the time because that's the way I grow very, very fast from one crystal into the other. And while wearing them, they will assist a certain type of consciousness that you are struggling with to delete it very quickly just by breathing through a color code. An example for this is that is very important. If you're interested in crystals, not everybody is interested in that, but it's very important to have a partner, because many people have a partner or a community, and if you don't have that, or you find it difficult to connect with anyone, which is oftentimes part of addictions. But anyways, throughout the world, many people throughout the pandemic are feeling very lost and lonely because everything is returning in the crystallization process as the ley lines in the earth are crystallizing, and so the matrix is collapsing and the brain doesn't know how to catch up. In meditation you can do that, and you can even load a code for joy, you can load a code for purpose, you can load, and that makes it easy and interesting, doable for everybody, because once you get that habit and you get the results, to delete just one small habit, that's a good start, and change that or replace that by something you are truly interested in, then that is a great way to move forward. So one of the, I've got that here, just 1 minute, the most important crystal I would truly suggest for everybody, that is the angel light. That is one from Peru, and we have angel light from Madagascar. Eventually start with one of Madagascar. I think most people do know angel light, right? It's a very, very beautiful light blue color, and it eases the heartbeat immediately when wearing it. And also chrysocolla from Peru. So the country it comes from is important. Every crystal has different consciousness. So the chrysocolla, if you want one, I have a few. They are about $15, so that's very cheap. But they are very, very handy. It eases the heart. It takes away the heartache, the pain in the heart from being addicted, and allowing self to move forward. And another third component that is a very dear crystal to my heart, and that is the blue sapphire from Sri Lanka. I've seen you can get a few ones on Etsy or eBay, but I would go for a raw one. They're very raw. So these bring huge levels of peace to you, but these two will do already and give you a very good start. Because if we are overstressed, it becomes very difficult to decide to go out of that particular habit, and that creates a lot of stress, addictions, fear, and when we have that stress, it creates more compulsion. So, and that is, a very difficult cycle at times to go out of. So what I essentially also do is rewire the brain, as you can do that in meditation. And so we can set up a meditation with animals, we can set up a meditation with elements. Certain herbs are very, very beneficial to help you here and to help you go into that relaxed space and truly work with, or just breathe through, the white and blue way. Blue in any color brings peace and calmness. put yourself in a blue balloon. It's a good beginning. Put yourself in a blue peace sign around you, at the middle of the peace sign going to the spine, and those two lines to the kidneys and the back. So you have that entire peace sign around you, and just breathe in peace. I'm one with peace. I'm one with the blue wave peace. I allow peace. I invite peace and allow the blue angelic way to combine with the true blue sapphire way. For example, do that for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Make your visualization as deep as you can, and don't really start to judge yourself, or even if it's 2 minutes, that should have already an effect on your nervous system, on your brain, on your consciousness, on the way you present yourself. So there's many creative possibilities to go out of it. And as we are in the age of crystallization, knowing that everything was created on the basis of synthetics, then we know that every synthetic substance in medication creates another habit and another substance. So be very careful for that and break that down, slowly. It's no good for the body to break it all off, but to really have a vision on what you are truly doing with it. Where did the habit start? Was it caused by other people? Was it caused by yourself through loneliness? What is it attached to? It could be attached to certain experiences that made you go in that particular habit. Cut that out immediately as I work through the glands, the nerves that are very, very attached and that fire the habit and the compulsion through. And that is especially the pituitary gland. So working on the pituitary, you don't have to know anatomy, you don't have to know the nervous system. You can look up where the pituitary is in your brain just to have a better visualization. If you go into meditation and breathe through white, green, the invisible way, those three, everything connected to white, purifies very, very quickly. And when you combine that with peace, it helps a lot. But where I'm getting at here is especially understanding that the most important thing is to break the habit through new decision making, creating a new structure. So if you have, habits or addictions in many levels, and start with the easiest one. If you have a few bad habits in the food or the attachment to food, replace it by something extremely healthy that has no additives. So raw foods, and YouTube is piled with good recipes, so you can find your way through that. And that is so good that you love it, really. Just, the will to break through is very important. And then really allowing self to delete laziness that is in the hypothalamic, the thalamic, the pituitary gland as well present. And when we work a bit like 10 minutes at a time on it and command it out with a code, then you can go a long way. So another thing I wanted to say as every consciousness is changing very, very fast now, because the axis of the planet is changing, and so psychology is changing very fast, and people are awakening faster and faster and faster. It becomes very interesting how much we are offered, because the purification of the oceans, the soil and everything will go actually a little bit on an automatic. I do think a lot of animals will leave the planet as they do not have the necessary nutrition anymore, the necessary habitat anymore that was killed by us in order to bring the repair through quicker. So you will feel it quicker in your system. Like I always look for the best foods, but these days you can hardly smell uh, the vegetables anymore. I remember 20, 30 years ago, I would smell strawberries from a mile away. These days it's all killed by the chemicals, right? So be loving to yourself, and it would be great to really even talk here on YouTube. And I'm very open to respond to anybody who struggles with severe habits, as we all have some sort of habit. So getting out of social media or YouTube addiction and creating a new structure. Like I would never open my iPhone before it's 2 in the afternoon. I wouldn't know why. I mean, if somebody needs me, or you know, I got email, and yeah, that's okay. You can connect, and I will connect whenever I feel like it, and that's it. Like social media pushes the connections through, that brings through a lot of bad feelings in the body, and bad feelings, they you know they make you angry, they make you irritated, they make you frustrated. You lose your peace, you lose your calmness, you lose the essence of self. So when being burdened in those synthetics, then we are disconnecting from the true self, that has its connections to our source, to the entire cosmos, and to everything. And that is something we can reconnect with, because when we feel the pulsation of our source in the body, our spark that descends with the ascended one, and we feel our spirit talk to us 24/7, then you have a partner. And that doesn't come like with a flick of your fingers. It needs a little bit of integration. It needs your commitment to moving your lifestyle into the origin, which is the reconnection to your source, with all the forces and sources in the universe. And then you can meditate with everything. So there's some setup movement to move back into a light body and a light environment, which you can plant in your home. So transforming your home from living in the matrix with all that stress and fear syndromes and synthetics, into purifying and crystallizing your home with crystals. That is what I teach. And so I actually teach to become an eternal healer, far beyond anything that is Reiki, because that is still connected to the matrix. We are all eternal beings, and when that is recoded, that is what I do as well. And in the brain, you can run the character of eternity through, and you can delete certain attachment, uh, attachments and compulsion in just a few seconds. That is where the practice goes. Because if we in society and our consciousness doesn't move into pure strength immediately when we are confronted with situations, with people, and you didn't train yourself, then it's very, very hard to not enable self to immediately place a code, splash that code to that person, and you're done with that specific problem. That is how easy it goes today. I've seen things like, I needed to deal with things in Justice Department. All I needed to do is pull a code of truth into the throat of that particular person, and they didn't know what was going on, but they could not lie to me. That is even what is possible through training. So other than that, yeah, it's very, very important. I will elaborate again and again. Just try that peace sign out with those two crystals. If you want to move into a course and we start deleting every malfunctioning through the body, through everything that you are, everything that you experience, and transition the body, the brain, your appearance, and then your life becomes purposeful, becomes filled with passion, with new insight, with new skills, and you can even teach those to other people. So that is either way the eternal healer or the entire alchemy that moves with many, many, many meditational guidance, and that offers you an online solution to really move into a purified state, at least at home, so your home doesn't have those synthetics anymore, because monsters in the universe are everywhere. So dense energies can kick in your home, can kick in your brain at night and make you do things. That is the age we are living, sadly enough. And yes, as a psychologist and a trainer to become totally independent from anybody, anything, as well. I offer also individual sessions for those in great need. So that may help to find some directions. I have helped so many people that were, you know, either way addicted to working too hard, and then their brain would go into a format of complete blackout. And the people that had projects going, important things, and okay, they contacted me. I said, I don't know what's happening, cannot think, I need to finish a project. Can you help me? Because I know you do stuff. And so I worked on that person for 2 hours. Didn't see him again. And then I heard, yeah, you know, after 4 or 5 days, came around and he said like, hey, I've been working throughout the night, finished my whole project, piled with energy, and they were so grateful. So they also started out that course. It's not a must, it's something I offer for those willing to move there. Because if we don't move out of the synthetic world and replace it with the new world that is already planted on the planet, then it's very difficult to, delete all these hacks and these compulsions that come on waving in to you anyways. And that is actually what we all need to deal with. So I think it's very important. Another very important item here is that we have that emotional body, and the emotions create emotions upon emotions. And when we start to delete those emotions connected to a certain habit, then we can go a long way, because this age is truly about the elimination of the emotional body and setting in the highest senses, the highest sensual body, in which you can channel your own knowledge, your intelligence, your wisdom, which, the planet doesn't have at this time. It has no logic. So we need to create our own logic with ease and grace, so you can tap into it quite easily. And here, yeah, I'll assist you with one further creation. That is, I have this cards here with the the animals that are a great assistance actually, and see what comes through it. That is something that can help you as well, because animal spirit are very, very intelligent and very witty to assist. So what I have here is the sea otter. All right. What you're all looking for essentially is happiness, right? So the sea otter is saying, be the master of playful living. Yeah, easier said than done, right? And so release expectations and enjoy every day. Let worry go and instead choose love, because you can surrender to these waves. So remember, keep on talking to yourself. I love you, and then you place your name. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Good. And because your good destiny of love is sure. I mean, this couldn't be more accurate. So look up the sea otter on Google. The spiritual meaning is actually, sea otter is a very, very playful, happy animal that can assist you a lot, and you can invite it in your meditation and to invite it to go for a swim with you. For example, invite the Pacific Ocean, the South Pacific Ocean, and invite it to show you where is that trigger, what triggers the most to your addiction, because water is connected to the emotional body, and that when we purify the water in the body, drinking helps a lot, juices helps a lot, but essentially connecting with water gates like rivers, oceans, lakes in the body, breathing them through, letting them open up in your brain, letting them open up in your home, and create a space where you can imagine yourself that your water is being purified with a play of the sea otter, and invite the sea otter to guide you, because they have a way of eliminating that deep emotional content that is actually that created, let us say, that particular habit or addiction. And for many, that at times that is so much. For some, it's small habits that can easily be overcome. Yet it is becoming aware of them, allowing to be aware, and changing things in your body. And of course, physical exercise always helps. Creating a new habit by getting up, creating some meditational support, and then doing some fitness, and then expand your day, and opening that up to mantras. So I also created a huge support that is, we have that mantra, I am. And I am can expand to everything we've ever been and everything we are right now. And that works with all the five most important elements: the ethers, water, fire, earth, air. The air component, the air that you breathe, is the most important thing to restructure in your body, to open up the lungs, to open up your presence, um, to allow yourself to be. Some people are very small, and they have a difficult time to expand, express themselves due to fear and shame that is so much embedded in the body, like loving yourself and talking to yourself, like saying, I am so beautiful, I love you so much. And you talk to yourself in the mirror, and you say that 10 or 20 times until it works. It should get you into tears. So that I am faculty is, I wrote a book about it. That is wise mentor cards for modern day ascension or movement. And it's actually as part of my artistic vibration. So I create art and I create art codes. I created a pack of 55 cards that are very, very helpful because they assist you to see where you're at, where you could change a little bit more, what you could adjust actually. And so, yeah, let's pick a card for this session. I will definitely elaborate here. Let me know what is your highest level of struggle here with habits, and we'll have another output on that. That is so beautiful. I am, yeah, that's another thing. It's really to the point. I love it. I am respected. So every card comes with 3 or 4 mantras in the I am. No more neurological neglect. Essentially, a bad habit is neurological neglect. You see, that's a male female vibration in a neurological network. And that network represents the nervous system. So repeating that, I am respected, no more neurological neglect, will definitely bring that through. It's a card number 3. Let's see what 3 truly means. So yeah, I love the book. It's you see, it's connected to the element air, and it also has 3, 4, 5 mantras with it, and it explains because essentially many people feel disconnected because the equality between man and woman is, you know, between races and ages and jobs and mental capacities. They are so off these days, so and neglected. So as we're entering the age of Aquarius, it essentially means the age of communication and building new communities. On equal grounds, we won't allow the atrocities in the brain and consciousness anymore at that high degree. We all need to move into the higher fields, and everybody can choose their own level, their own capacity. But being aware of a habit is the most important thing. And you know, just write down a list of your habits that you know you want to change. And so, because you can also overpower that with the power of the word. And that is already eliminating all consciousness that still stands on the lower ground. So, because when you have the mantra, I am being respected and I respect myself, that is already an open route to standing your ground and not allowing lower frequencies to enter your life. So the power of the word and the I am mantras, they matter a lot. The stronger they are, the stronger they will work in your system, because then we can start to heal lower vibrations that automatically will bring healing and clearing in old stuff, old relationships with yourself, old experiences. So as I said before, it's very, very important, very beneficial to at least start to delete old connections, old friendships. I have a very, very great meditation for that. If you want that, I'll put the link down in the description box. It's very potent. It works instantly, and those people will never ever come back. That is how potent it is. It will put you in your strength. It will put you in a new sort of self-empowerment already, because if these connections are deleted that are connected to bad habits, you already have a good go into understanding that we can actually delete everything. So because meditation creates very, very good discipline, physical, your physical, psychological health will massively improve. And so it's actually a movement into greatness. So it's here, the card represents that we actually attract energy fields that equal our consciousness. And so we can move that vibration to a higher consciousness. Thus, we need to change our energy field, and that can be done through coding the body, aligning to certain waves like the blue peace, the angelic crystal, or anything more. So that there's a lot of information, a bit too much here, but because it says, the card really says, you can only attract what you are. And if things are definitely sort of off in your life, and you want a better life, and you want more of it, and you want that connection, that is what you can do. Uh, First of all, it is your connection back to the source. When you breathe through and you feel that through the body, that can be done when the body is a little bit purified, when the fingers, the toes, the feet, everything is reopened, that closed off from synthetic habits. And so it takes some purification process, and if you're willing to do that, or just start out any meditation here, and I can assure you, the smallest thing you start doing that is new for you will work instantly. So I hope this explanation helped you a little bit to start restructuring small things and then the bigger things, because the bigger things create the highest level of fear, and that is not what we want. Fear and shame, compulsion, we've had that enough. So small things can bring you joy, small things can bring you proof, small things, and then you can decide, like, I really wanna do the complete overhaul in to a purified field in my home, and move into the alchemy. That can be done as well. You have all the links down there below. I want to thank you so much for being here with me and being honest, being open. Let me know what is your highest level struggle, and I will definitely come back with deeper levels of healing solutions, that are modern day and not of the old age, because we've seen too much in psychiatric institutions and mental illnesses that they go too slow. So I do not allow anything in that slow movement. I want immediate results. If you have a session with me, the results are immediate. We do not have to go to the long draw healing processes anymore, as I work and live in the new crystalline fields, the new world where we purify everything 24/7. That's what I do. So that is the output I will have. I wish you a very enjoyable day, and I hope it helped you somehow. I'm CHARLotChi. Thank you so much. And so many are still suffering from worry, sadness, fear, and all these emotional condition, many term illusion. But for the one suffering, it is actually not an illusion. And it is very painful to see those tensions rise in humanity. While it's easy to override psychology, we need actually to do our part and take responsibility to do that ourselves. And so we are moving really into the realms in which we are getting to know ourselves and need to leave all that the old ways of living behind, the old habits, the old barriers. There was so much in the old world that needed to break down anyway. So on one side of the equation, just be happy that finally broke through, and things that happened just happened. A part of from that, we of course need to rebuild families. We need to rebuild communities. We need to find out new jobs. We need to create new businesses together, and we will, because we are stronger, and we will overpower anything electromagnetic through the crystalline grid system. So today it is important to understand how powerful the word can be should you take responsibility and protect yourself, but not many know how to do that. And I would suggest to really take a week off, a week out of the news, a week out of radio stations, a week out of all that blabber coming from spouses, family members, friends, social media, YouTube, whatever. Stay with me. That was a paradox. But yes, I understand how serious the situation is. And therefore, today, for those especially who do not know how to set up a sacred space with their connection back to their source and their spirit and their spark and what you really are, because so many are still talking about a soul, and that is actually breaking mentality, consciousness, your emotional bodies, so to a low point of consciousness. We better don't talk about it, because soul consciousness is actually ego. Well, that is all we see on the internet, of course, to keep you in captivity. And moving out of the old soul fractures means you actually move into full-time spirit consciousness. So that is easier said than done, right? Why I'm asking you to really take a week off is to get yourself into a peace level and understand that to a peace level in which your emotions, mentality, your daily tasks, should you have built a structure in the meantime, move at a very slow ease and grace pace. And that is so you can start to see clearly again. And I'd also advise to wear turquoise. Turquoise assists to get the grounded toxins out of the body. So good turquoise would be Australian one. That's a very, very clear turquoise. The one I'm wearing here is Tibet, and Tibet has quite a different consciousness and maybe a little more difficult to work with. Another really good grounder would be the ones from Arizona, actually, and not work with India this time. So I don't know if I have, I don't know. Yeah, okay. So, and moving you into peace, or moving your meditational state into peace, is actually quite easy to do should you want to do that. And that is all about grounding your energy and opening up your energy field to what peace really means, and that is getting the body actually in a higher level of tranquility. So here, ground your feet and breathe in, call forth the lighted meridian construction to anchor into your feet. What I feel is indirectly a pulsation of golden waves through my feet. So breathe that in, even though you do not feel it. It will be there if you invite it and allow it. You breathe that through, and you invite a beautiful white Christ-like grid, and you open that up. Breathe that in, you open that up through the spine. You let the right way just raise far beyond your crown in glory, your crown chakra. And then breathe out. And along that right way, we call for the blue way of truth and peace. Just breathe in. Allow it to enter your root and crown at the same time. As you breathe out, it expands and waves that create like a flower of life. Just breathe in true blue and white. Take that up and just breathe it back out, so you create an expansion in your body. Breathe in and breathe out. Just breathe in, take your breath as deep as you can without forcing it through, okay? No forcing the breath, opening the breath of life, of eternal life, and of immortal life. That takes some real construction and really needs a 7-day seminar in which we detox all the bodies, the emotional, mental, spiritual, physical bodies for 7 days. So that is quite a lot to go through in order to open up these celestial bodies and universal bodies and that into the beyond. So there is a lot to create or to become light again and bring to light body consciousness, which is the purity of the divine. And so we keep it with the blue way. Invite the blue way through your crown. Breathe in. Let it flow to your throat. All the way down, and let it anchor really firm. Like a candlestick, a blue way candlestick, all the way in the nucleus of the earth. Breathe in. You hold your breath on the blue way, and you just let it flow all the way, anchoring in center earth. Breathe in once again. So you have that straight line, alright? The next breath, what we will do is we breathe that blue way through again into your umbilicus, and there we expand the blue way into different lines or strokes, moving to your left and right kidneys, okay? So we breathe in the blue way. You stop your breath at your umbilicus. You breathe out and focus that it expands into blue ley lines. Okay, breathe in once again. Stop the breath at the umbilicus. Breathe out as it expands through both left and right kidneys. Let's do that again. Breathe in. You stop at the umbilicus. Keep focus on blue, and as you breathe out, it expands into lines going through both left and right kidneys. So we have part of the peace sign, right? And now the next level, you breathe in the blue way, both from center earth and through the universal realms, and then you expand, and so it creates a circle of blue light around the spokes you already created. So you have that one straight line through the spine, you have the two spokes going through your kidneys, and the third breath is a circle. And so you have the peace sign, and should always be blue. Other colors will not work, so it's important for you to know that, okay? So breathe in again. And breathe out as you create a circle of blue light around you. Next breath, breathe in again. And here you have your peace sign, and breathe out. And just stay a few minutes in your blue peace sign. And you can make it as passionate as you want. You can add any other blue gemstone you wish to add, that you know about, you wish to get to know. And then you just call for the blue ray of truth and peace. Blue ray, truth and peace. You breathe it in through the crown and expands immediately sideways, and when it reaches the bottom, it creates a circle of blue light around you. So you have peace. And so your mantra can go, I am true blue peace. Nothing can invade my energy fields. I am true blue peace. Nothing can invade my energy fields. I am true blue peace. Nothing can really invade my energy fields. And if you do that and repeat that during the day, you will feel, you will become so serene and so calm that you will be able to reflect on self once again and release the other emotions. Enjoy it. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for commenting, liking, sharing, pushing the buttons, and coming back to me. So click the bell, and so you get noticed when I'm there again. Thank you so much. Bye.